Alright guys, going to talk to you a little bit about how to set up a ArcGIS map for our data that we looked at. The data turned out to be really good, where you're kind of comparing the acorns that fell from the red and white oak trees. So what I'm going to do is walk you through how to look at that data. So this right here is probably very similar to your home page for ArcGIS once you log in and everything. But you're going to hit the map button. And we are going to go through here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see. We're going to hit the details button right here. Well, first we need to actually find the layer that we want to look at. So you're going to hit the add button. So first you're going to hit the add button. You're going to go search for layers. And you're not going to find anything under your content because I don't believe you've made a layer yet. So you're going to actually go to ArcGIS Online here, and this is kind of the whole world's data right here. Everyone that's put stuff on ArcGIS that's public. So there's more than 10,000 layers. So what you're going to do is you're going to search for red versus white oak, and then we did this around Birch Pond. And we're going to hit this one here, the first one that pops up, and we're going to add that to our map. And really, when you guys start, you'll probably see something that's, something maybe like this. Okay, so you'll have to zoom in. I kind of was already playing around with it. So looks like we have some friends that were up here in North Dakota and somebody that was here in northern Minnesota. Maybe those are some of our distant learner friends. And zooming on, zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. And you see all of our oaks. So that's pretty cool, but that doesn't really show us anything. So what you're going to need to do then is to try to differentiate these dots and see what and you can actually visually look at some of the data. So we're going to hit the details button now, and we're going to hit the shapes button right here. So you have to go details and then this content button. So you go details, the content button, and then you'll hit these shapes. Okay? So under the shapes, you can now see that we have some things that we can choose between. So instead of just showing the location, I am going to go down and show the type of oak. So if I hit the type of oak, you can see that that's going to put a color key there, and it's going to show us all the different types of oaks. That's pretty cool. Now that doesn't really do a whole lot for us though, it just shows us where those oaks are. What we want to do is we want to look at the predation of those oaks. So I'm going to hit the add attribute button. I'm going to scroll down, and down here you can see the percent of predation. Now you don't have to look at this one, but you can look at, the buckthorn cover. You can look at, the number of caps or acorns. This is all from the data that you took this last week. So I'm going to hit the percent of predation because I think that's kind of interesting thing to look at. So I'm going to hit that button. Now that's great. I can see the different size of circles. The bigger the circle, the more predation. But when I look at this, it's kind of confusing. For some reason, it's got my white oak in the red dot and my red oak a blue dot. That's super confusing for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to change that. And the way I change that is I can go in here and I can hit the types and size button here. And I want to change for this color code, I want to change that. So I'm going to hit the options button. So instead of having my white oak be a red dot, I want to change that. And since it's a white oak, gosh, I guess maybe making a white dot for a white oak makes more sense. Red oak being a blue dot does not make any sense to me, so I'm going to change that dot to a red dot. Okay, there, that looks a little more clean. So now I have my white oaks and a white dot, my red oak and a red dot. My pin oak is still green and my burr is purple, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me as much. Okay, so we got that piece done. And what you'll need to do then is scroll down, but my recorder's not showing it because I have this probably a little different setting than you do. So I'm gonna minimize my screen there. There we go. And now I can hit the OK button. All right. And now that kind of locks that in. Okay. So I'm gonna go back so we can see what's being recorded here. The other thing that you see is these circles. I can change the circles, so the percent per predation, and I can maybe change either kind of where I want those cutoffs to be. So let's say those circles are still kind of the same size. I want to maybe change where the different cutoffs are between the different size shapes. And I can do that too. That might give you a different kind of feel to your map, and it might show you or help you delineate a little bit more between some of those numbers. And I think it does a little bit. So I think you can see a little more of the differences here. 'Cause like the red dots now are a lot smaller than the white dots from what I kind of see. And if I were to make it's a little bit trickier to see when it's when you have a different setting between those numbers. The other thing, so I can also change the shapes themselves. So maybe I want to have like a triangle instead, or so I could change the symbols. So I could change the symbol here. I can make like a crosshairs. That's it all kind of depends on the way you want to do this. So I can make a triangle. Any one there is something that you can not, and we do want you to play around with it and to change your own map shapes a little bit. I always have to hit the done button, the OK and then the done button. If you don't hit the done button and you were to go back, all your information gets deleted. So make sure you hit that done button, and then now your map is there. Okay. We're asking you to put an ArcGIS map into your story map, and to do that, you want to save your map too. So once you're done and you got everything the way you want it, you can even change like the base map. And actually maybe would even recommend that a little bit so we can see where you're at on our campus here. That looks pretty slick to me. Looks like somebody took their data in the pond, and that was probably just a mistake. But right here we can kind of see where the oak trees were on our campus based on where you guys entered in your data. And I like that. I like having that satellite image a little better. But like I said, you need to save it. So you need to go up to the Save button, Save As, and you're going to then, whoever you, I'm Mr. Koenig, so I'm going to write spell my own name, Mr. Koenig, and I can take this as red and white oak. And now this is actually going to pop up. If you make your own map from this, it'll pop up in your own folder. So that's kind of the nice thing, is you can use layers, make your own map, and it's going to pop up in your folder. And so that now I can use to make my story map in. And that will probably be what the next video is on, is how to kind of work with the story map features and then add your own map from the ArcGIS program. All right, guys, thank you so much, and good luck with this. Of course, if you have any questions, let me know.